The human commander stared at me like I'd just done something insane. "I'm here to inspect your weapons," I said firmly. He frowned. "Weapons out here? This is just a mining colony. All we've got are sidearms, maybe a defense platform." "Don't lie to me," I shot back. "Our scans picked up weapon signatures. Explosions have been coming from this planet for months. I demand to see your weapons program." The humans in the room exchanged uneasy glances. "Explosions," one muttered. "Those are mining operations, not weapons tests." "Mining," I snapped. "Nobody uses explosives for mining. That's when one of the humans lost it." "Are you kidding me? You've never heard of blasting rocks with explosives to dig faster?" "No way, we can't be the only species in the galaxy smart enough to figure that out." He threw up his hands and stormed out. "I need whiskey. I'm done." "Get back here, Seamus," the commander shouted, but the man just waved him off and vanished down the corridor. The commander sighed and rubbed his face. "Last time I hire a Scotsman," turning back to me, he said. "Look, friend. Rifles and pistols, that's it. This isn't a weapons lab, it's just a mining site." "Impossible," I argued. "Those blasts can be detected from 2 systems away. Show me what you're hiding." The commander groaned. "Fine, you want proof, I'll show you. But after this you leave us alone, we've got work to do." He shoved a yellow helmet into my hands. "Hard hat, safety rules. Put it on or you're not going anywhere." Grudgingly I strapped it on. He didn't wait for me to complain, just pushed me toward the exit. Outside I saw the truth. The planet was scarred and stripped, its air barely kept stable by terraforming machines. Huge sections of land had already been carved away, with digging machines everywhere. The humans weren't lying. They weren't testing weapons at all. They were tearing the world apart, one blast at a time. Massive machines rolled across the site, some with wheels taller than war tanks, others with strange claw-like arms and unusual ways of moving. I couldn't figure out how half of them even worked. Secret tech, I thought. Maybe I'd stumbled onto something valuable for the Federation. "All right, here are your explosives," the commander said, pointing at a small setup on a flat plateau. I frowned. "That's just a hole with wires in it." "Exactly," he shot back. "This is what you've been complaining about. Let me break it down for you since you don't get it. We drill precise holes, pack them with high explosives, step back, and blow the rock apart. That turns solid stone into dust, dirt, and chunks of boulders. The machines scoop it all up and send it to the refinery. Cheap, effective, safe if done right." "Ridiculous," I barked. "There isn't enough force in those little charges to move a plateau like this." "Fine," he said with a smirk. "Let's show the baby how it's done. Clear the field." His voice boomed across the radio. Workers hurried us behind a heavy glass barrier. I didn't argue if the humans were hiding behind it. I figured I should too. A foreman stood at a control panel and shouted, "Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!" Then he slammed a button. The ground roared. A half-mile of land buckled upward before collapsing into itself, shaking the earth as thousands of tons of mineral-rich rock thundered down into a massive funnel carved into the plateau. Before I could even catch my breath, 100 engines roared to life in unison. The commander gave me a smug grin. "So, what were you saying?" I had no answer. My jaw hung open as the entire mining operation surged into motion. Dozers shoved dirt into neat piles, while grinders tore boulders into dust. Hammer-armed machines smashed rock into rubble. Colossal truck wheels, taller than fighters, stormed in as strange crawler vehicles scooped entire hills of dirt into their beds. Then, at shocking speed for their size, they rumbled toward the refinery, dumping hundreds of tons at a time. The commander leaned in, still smirking. "See how it works. Dirt goes down the cliff into the holding site. Grinders and crushers break the rock. Excavators load the trucks. The trucks haul it straight to the refinery. No extra steps needed. Simple as that." I tried to speak, but nothing came out. My jaw was still hanging, and I had to literally push it shut with my hands. I tried to speak, but my jaw had practically unhinged itself. "We've been doing this long before space travel," the commander said casually. "For reference, it's the year 2669 right now. But the first use of explosives in mining was way back in 1627. Humanity didn't even reach space until around 1955. Some of the men behind him muttered, "Nice," like it was some kind of inside joke. Anyway, the commander went on with that same smug grin. "We've been blasting rocks for centuries. What you've seen here is just small-scale strip mining. Out in the asteroid belts, we use explosives and gravity generators. Same principle, just bigger once again." My jaw dropped. Within an hour, the humans had already cleared the debris field, loaded the ore onto conveyors, and fed it into the refinery, which was now roaring at full capacity. By my estimates, they were processing nearly 27,000 tons at a time, and it would all be done within hours before I could even wrap my mind around that. The humans had already moved to the next site. More holes dug, more cables lined, more explosives primed. The foreman's voice rang out again. "Fire in the hole." 3 times he called, and then another massive section of cliffside lifted into the air like the planet itself was breathing before collapsing in a thunderous crash. "I have questions," I admitted, thoroughly humbled. "As do I," the commander replied. But go ahead, you first. That was incredible, I said. How did you make an entire cliffside explode like that? Come with me, I'll show you. This time his smile was less smug and more patient. He led me out of the safety bunker and into the controlled chaos of the worksite. Engineers and technicians worked with precision, measuring out strange blocks of a rubbery material. They called plastic explosive. It was stable, moldable, and detonated with carefully timed triggers. They explained how math dictated everything: the density of the rock, weather conditions, the natural fault lines, all calculated to decide exactly how much explosive to use and where to place it. The sheer complexity of their equations nearly broke my brain. Calculus, geometry, engineering. They ran it all on simple calculators, paired with sensor data, and nailed the result every single time. One engineer laughed and admitted that after years of practice, they could often guess the numbers correctly before doing the math, though they always checked anyway. Their memory and precision put most species in the galaxy to shame. Then my attention was caught by another strange machine rumbling past. It moved on a continuous band of plates instead of wheels. This, the commander explained, noticing my stare, is called a caterpillar track. It spreads the weight of the machine so it doesn't sink into soft ground, and gives it grip over uneven terrain. I nodded, still stunned. Humanity's mining tools looked more like the weapons of gods. The commander pointed to the excavator as it rumbled by. See those, he said. They move on a series of connected plates we call tracks or caterpillar tracks. The plates are held together with pins, which makes them flexible enough to move but strong enough to handle incredible weight. Compared to wheels, tracks keep machines stable and let them carry much heavier loads. They were first used on farming tractors, but today you'll find them on industrial machines and tanks. What's a tank? I asked. He paused. That's a discussion for another time. We still have some, but they're not used much anymore. Instead, he gave me a sly grin. Want to try an excavator? Wait, what? I blinked. Why not? We've got a smaller one over there, the kind used for digging ponds and canals. Think of it as a training model. He motioned toward a compact machine parked at the side of the site. Of course, I agreed. An operator showed me the cockpit and walked me through the controls. They were surprisingly simple, awkward for my alien hands, but still easy enough. The moment I pulled the levers, the power of the machine surged beneath me. Hydraulics brilliant. With every motion, I marveled at how much force could be controlled with such ease. I spent hours playing with it, carving a shallow pit into the ground like a child discovering a new toy. When I finally climbed out, I asked, "So, is this specialized equipment?" The foreman shrugged. "Well, yes, you need training and permits to operate one safely. But beyond that, these machines are sold openly. Anyone with the right license can buy one. In fact," he smirked, "we've got a spare unit sitting in Hangar 4. Haven't touched it since we got here. It's just taking up space. Want it?" My eyes widened, glowing with excitement. A sound escaped me that could only be described as 100 rats celebrating inside a palace of cheese. At that moment, the Scotsman from earlier stumbled onto the site, half-empty bottle in hand. "Sue, Captain," he slurred. Howled the alien like the booms. The foreman chuckled, dislocated his jaw, but he liked the tracks. "So we're giving him the spare machine." I tilted my head. "What exactly is a tank?" I asked again. The Scotsman froze, stared at me, then muttered, "You mean to tell me these aliens don't know what tanks are?" "Hell no." He drained the rest of his bottle, collapsed to the ground, and passed out. "What's wrong with him?" I asked. The commander sighed. "Best not to ask. Trust me, you don't want to know." Then he grinned. "Come on, let's go show you your new machine. You must be excited." And excited I was. I followed him eagerly toward the hangar.